Hey guys, welcome to my first ever playthrough of Pokemon Unbound and the first episode of a new series on the channel, Pokemon In Sync. Initially, I had recorded live commentary for the recording session I did, which would have come out to 2 or more episodes, but due to a mixing error that I've spent about 20 hours trying to fix to no avail, I'll be doing post-commentary for the first episode or 2 and switching to live commentary for episodes moving forward. In any case, to explain the nature of the series, I'll be playing through a Pokemon game, in this case Pokemon Unbound, as a recreated sync pair from the Pokemon Masters EX game. For those of you that don't know, Pokemon Masters EX is a game in which you enslave humans instead of Pokemon. You acquire famous trainers from Pokemon games, and each trainer comes with a single Pokemon that they are typically associated with, such as Ash and Pikachu or Red and Charizard. That Pokemon is the only one that trainer can use, and it has a set move pool that never changes, barring special circumstances. There are different versions of certain trainers that have different Pokemon, but 2 trainers of the exact same name with different Pokemon cannot exist. For example, Blue has Pidgeot, but Blue's Signasuit version has Blastoise. Grimsley has Liepard, but Grimsley Kimono version has Bisharp. For the first episode of this new series, the sync pair we'll be recreating and using will be Scottie and Solgaleo. Scottie is the main playable character in the Pokemon Masters EX games, and serves as the typical self-insert character. Solgaleo is largely the same as his normal Sun and Moon counterpart, with the exception that their move pool for the entire game will be restricted to the following moves: Metal Claw, Sunsteel Strike, Bright as the Sun, and Focus Blast. Bright as the Sun is a Pokemon Masters EX exclusive stat boosting move that boosts Solgaleo's special attack, and accuracy by 3 stages. Since there is no Bright as the Sun equivalent outside of Pokemon Masters EX, I plan to use Coil instead, a move that boosts your attack, defense, and accuracy by 1 stage. Not as potent, and not exactly the same, but close enough. I plan to use all the sync pairs I have in my Pokemon Masters EX game if nobody has any suggestions, but if you want to see me play as a specific sync pair, sound off in the comments down below. Anyway, now that the rules have been set, let's jump into the channel's first ever playthrough of Pokemon Unbound. So when I'm doing live commentary, I'll be reading all the dialogue aloud and giving everyone voices, but for now, I'll just give you guys the gist of what's happening. At this portion of the game, it's essentially just figuring out what kind of gameplay experience you want from this game. I mentioned this in my initial recording, but of all the ROM hacks I've played, this ROM's creator was fabulous about quality of life changes. Puzzle difficulty change, gameplay difficulty change, infinite bag space, colored text for speaker gender and important topics, cool Porygon PCs, just a ton of really cool and awesome shit. I, of course, being a smooth brain that lives life on recruit difficulty, chose the easiest setting for puzzles because I'm not the biggest fan, and the vanilla difficulty for gameplay so I can enjoy my first playthrough instead of being worried about being able to win. If you guys want to see me struggle a bit more, want to see me break a sweat, or if I feel that the game is too easy, I'll crank up the difficulty. Also, the world is radiant, so like Oblivion, but actually functioning. There's always something new and interesting happening, and the people in the world grow and change with you on your journey. Thought that was another really cool addition to the game. Anyways, I recreate Canon Scottie according to the Masters EX wiki, name myself Scottie, and finish character creation. The story as I understand it for this beginning portion is that the region we're in, Borrius, was under attack by an enemy nation and its Pokemon. The king of Borrius summoned Hoopa to send all the enemies back, but he also got greedy and sent his forces through the portals to invade. This resulted in the needless deaths of many more people and Pokemon, including the king's favorite Pokemon, Floette. It was at this point that I realized that the king in question was AZ from Pokemon X and Y, which I thought was the coolest shit in the world, that they tied the lore of this game to a mainline game and made it seem more official. True to this realization, AZ made that Flower Xerneas thingy to revive Floette, made himself immortal, wanted to do a revengeance, made it into an ultimate weapon Yveltal thing, and killed a bunch of people and Pokemon. Floette dipped, the king was depressed, the people of Borrius attempted a coup using Hoopa's power because the king couldn't compensate the people of his kingdom for the war, and the king sealed Hoopa in his gin bottle. No, not that gin, this gin. Using the power of the 3 legendary birds, Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. Many moons later, a guy I assumed to be our dad saved Hoopa from being kidnapped by some chick by hucking him into the sea. Some random chick who speaks like a video game character and who I presume is AZ's granddaughter just randomly happens to be on a beach looking for a Pokemon to kill everyone with, and Hoopa washes to shore. Main bad guy team eventually finds her and recruits her.
Say the line, Bart!
Time skip number 2 and we're finally in control. Kind of. See, Hoopa kidnaps us and teleports us to the base of the Shadows, the main bad guy team. We get knocked out and locked up in a warehouse, and Hoopa and Granddaughter do some scheming. Edgy Rival Kid gets dunked on by Chad Shadow Grunt and his god tier Inkay. I name the Edgelord Mega Mid because Megamind is one too many characters, and he's edgy and mid. We team up and get some starter Pokemon. I choose Gible, Mega Mid gets Larvitar, and Beldum gets depressed that nobody likes him and he fucks off. We challenge Giga Chad Shadow Grunt, who has 2 legendary Pokemon, Inkay and Scorpy, and I spam Sand Attack, and Mega Mid kills the Grunt's Pokemon, physically assaults him by sicking his Larvitar on him, and then proceeds to wipe out the entire Pokemon teams of multiple professional criminals in a matter of seconds from the time it takes for me to get from where I was standing to the doorway. Truly terrifying. Meanwhile, the Shadows seem to have developed a cold, heat, and soon-to-be electric-resistant suit for their members to wear in order to capture the target, which is later revealed to be the 3 legendary birds. My guess is that they want to unlock Hoopa's power and use it for something, but I guess we'll see. Anyway, Marlin, who's seemingly the admin of the team, reports to the boss about Megamid and my escape and the Grunt's failure. They decide to keep the potential info leak from Faye, who I suspect is the Hoopa girl from the beginning, because she'll uproot the entire operation just to go into hiding, jeopardizing their almost complete capture of their immediate target, Articuno. We get back home, meet Professor Log, an ex-Smogan wiki mod who's IV and EV sexual, and listen to Log bitch at Megamid for not doing errands for him, and Megamid bitch about being an orphan. I have to be the one to break the news to him that he's an orphan because his parents realized how mid he is, and despite using Sand Attack until it ran out of PP, I still defeated Larvitar. It's astounding how bad he is at Pokemon battles considering his annihilation of the Shadow base 5 seconds prior. I also found it funny how, just prior to our fight, he claimed that he would show Log he was capable of going out on his own to look for his parents and was going to use our battle to prove it, yet failed in spectacular fashion, proving Log right. If you guys want to treat this as a challenge run where I can only use Solgaleo, I guess I just lost. Viewers 1, Red Fox RPG 0. I, however, am not considering this run as strict a challenge run as that, and will champion on. Megamid throws a tantrum and runs away. Log dumps all the errands off on me after making the excuse that he and his entire lab are too busy to pick up a package from Bellintown, just south of here, and then he emotionally manipulates me by saying my dad was an errand boy, and so I should be too. He then takes advantage of my forced generosity and gives me something else to do. I go home to see my mom and let her know that I'm no longer kidnapped. She reveals herself to be the kind of person that learns how the world works from watching TV. She also reveals herself to be a sleeper agent for Log and constantly asks me to do Log's task, and gives me a bunch of cool stuff like a cube, the infinite backpack I mentioned earlier, a costume box to change my outfit whenever, a cube battle component to use items in battle, and a mission tracker to track Log's fucking missions. After breaking my immersion with video game instructions, she lets me go and I spend an hour trying to figure out how to progress, being completely oblivious to this fucking invisible staircase. We get Solgaleo, get their Pokemon Masters EX moveset, and continue to Bellintown. So we do as the game instructed and talk to people, look around, the works. We look at this cool statue of Articuno, no pun intended, and even talk to the snooty daughter of the guy who made it. I'll have to be on the lookout for his statues, of which I've been informed there are more around Borrius. On my initial playthrough, I mentioned how irresponsible Log was for telling the Pokemart clerk that someone was coming to pick up the package and not mentioning a specific person. I mentioned it because I wondered if the clerk would give us the package, seeing as it was originally Megamid who was supposed to pick it up. Lo and behold, that actually becomes a major plot point of this quest because the Shadow Grunt that let us go actually steals Log's package on account of him not clarifying who was to pick it up. Grunt just walks in, takes it, and gives it to Marlin. Irresponsible Log strikes again. Anyway, Pokemart guy is customer service and can't be bothered to deal with customer bullshit, so he sends me to deal with my own mess. I catch up, and lo and behold, they locate and capture Articuno. To avoid having my shit stomped and getting soft-locked by having to fight the Shadow's boss with like a level 75 Articuno, the game makes me battle a Grunt while the bigwigs escape. I steamroller. Also, fun fact, it was at this point I realized that the text was color-coded to gender. Thank you, Unbound creator Sama, very cool. And head back to town to begin the search for those legendary hoarding thieving goons. And there you have it, ladies and gents, the first episode of Pokemon in Sync and the first episode of our first ever Pokemon Unbound playthrough. For those of you wondering why I didn't just re-record my first part with live commentary, I did, and it sucked. The initial live commentary was some lightning in a bottle type shit, but my re-recording was basically just me recounting everything that happened in the first recording. It's not like I could possibly have any genuine first-time reactions anymore. I had already seen everything I was re-recording. On top of that, I'm pretty convinced that this series is somewhat cursed because, as you're likely seeing on screen, I attempted this run on a different ROM by the name of Pokemon Adventures Red Chapter. Also an amazing game with an interesting story, cool character sprites, and 7th gen support, something I absolutely needed for the challenge. It also had cheats, which allowed me to get Solgaleo and get his sync pair moves on him. It even let me walk through walls to avoid the battles and encounters I would have had to go through without Solgaleo. However, something I failed to realize until an hour into albeit poor testing and 30 minutes of recording, Sunsteel Strike either doesn't exist in Red Chapter, or I couldn't find a cheat for it because I couldn't get it on my Solgaleo. Had to scrap the recording, find a new 7th gen compatible ROM, do testing, and make a brand new recording. Doesn't matter now though, as the video is done and all ready to go. He writes, hopefully, in his script. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to do all the YouTube stuff for the video, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.